Start Over Strong, Life After a DUI, a podcast for people, not offenders. Brought to you by Smart Start, the nation's most trusted, judgment-free ignition interlock provider. Hello, welcome to this episode. I am Morgan Ryan.
Hello, I'm Izzy Varela.
And today we are talking about day one, life after a DUI, what happens. This morning, I am coming to us with very exciting news. So I have two kiddos, my 5-year-old daughter, who is the CEO of our household, and my son, who is 3, and he's potty training. And so this morning I woke up to my frantic CEO alerting me that there is an urgent email situation I need to attend to. And I go outside and my 3-year-old has decided to, in front of the mail carrier, mark the rocks out front. And it was quite the situation. But my daughter, she's so sweet. She came to me and, my son's so proud of himself and he's kind of learning this whole deal. And she says, at least he got the job done, Mom.
Well, exciting weekend for you. For me, got to take the family to do a little bit of activity since we moved to DFW. We're always making an effort to go out and do everything we can that we didn't get to do in smaller cities. So going to a baseball game was a big event for us. I did not realize they were going to open the roof at the new Globe Life Stadium, which meant a 20-degree difference in heat.
Oh, my.
So a very warm day sitting in the sun. So if I have a little bit of red to my face today, that's the reason why, is we sat in the sun for about 4 hours.
Good old Texas.
Definitely. Build a multi-billion-dollar stadium with a roof and ended up opening it. But great weekend with the family. We spent 2 days at a stadium near at a hotel near the stadium. Really enjoyed the game. But yeah, a lot of fun. And I had my 2 boys are 14 and 12, so they're very observant of things.
Wow.
If you ever been to a Rangers game, there's definitely a lot of fun going on, a lot of consumption. And so there's a lot of questions about, at what point are they going to stop selling beer? What's the reason they're selling so much beer? So definitely getting a lot of those curious questions from my boys this weekend.
Yes. Interesting. I want to learn more about that.
Yeah.
This is interesting to see how you navigate that. So today, to position our episode, we're going to talk about really the first 30 days after a DUI, what happens, what to expect from what we call the point of inception, which is when you've obtained that DUI through installation of the device and then removal. We know that after the point of inception, that's a pretty big impact point. Generally speaking, 24 to 48 hours, especially after you've been booked in jail, you can experience waves of anxiety, depression, and really panic and fear. So the goal today is to touch base on that. And then I want to talk to you about really our company, other IID providers out there, and really our approach to having a stigma-free model, pricing, cost, and really just what to expect.
Yeah, sounds great. And for you all to get a little background, I do lead our program advisor team at Smart Start. So our support model is based on it being a program, not a product. We're very focused on completion of the program, right? That's the success factors. You start a program, you want to complete it. That allows you to get back into driving without any restrictions. So our support model is basically there to guide you along the way, give you all the information you need up front, be clear on pricing, help you take those first steps forward. So we talk about all the time. Let's be real, the DUI process impacts everybody. It impacts people of all backgrounds, of all financial backgrounds, all professional levels, all kinds of cars, all ages. And so really here to break that stigma for people that have been dealing with this for the first time.
I love that. So first and foremost, what generally happens is you panic. You go through this moment of panic and sometimes incredible heartbreak. And especially this can be true for not just first-time offenders, but also subsequent offenders, second, third plus offenders. So this is why it is so critical, depending on your state. There are very different laws in all states, and all states are different. This is why it's so critical to get in touch with a company that has a program advisor with state-specific information. So Izzy, can you talk to me more about why that matters for me if I've just gotten a DUI?
Yeah, I think it's important. I think our training program, what we do with our program advisors is from the time they're hired to the time we allow them to start interacting with our customers is make sure that they have all the proper information for each state. Each state is different. So general information usually is not good for you. You want to have your state specific information and how it applies to you, from term length to cost to installation. So each of the program advisors actually put through thorough training to make sure that they're up to date on all of the current state specific regulations. Within that, we make sure that they have all the information readily in front of them. So as you're giving them the information from your jurisdiction, to make sure that you're on the right program, because that is the key. You want to be put on the correct program with the correct monitoring authority. Our program advisors can guide you through that.
Yes, I think that is really critical. And there are predators out there. One of our very well-known competitors, they're quite toxic in nature in terms of how they function as a business, their approach to customers. In fact, we don't call our customers offenders, we call them people, because we are the stigma-free, empathetic brand. We want to give you the information and the tools that you need to help you through this pretty horrible time in your life. And one of the things I love, though, about what we do compared to our competitors is we are very cost conscious. And one of the major pain points in that first 30 days is you are spending money on an attorney, or you've elected a public defender for public representation, and cost is a problem. It's an issue. It's a pain point for everybody on the spectrum. So what are ways that you can use the right ID provider like SmartStart to save big?
Yeah, I think the biggest factor is we're not trying to lock you into a definitive term. Like, your monitoring authority is the responsible person for how long you should have that device, right? No one wants to pay for a device after they're no longer required to have it by their monitoring authority.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the big thing as anyone's going through the process is you want to ask questions as far as, what is the contract length? Am I locked into a contract? We're very unique in that space. We're not trying to lock you in for a term longer than you need by your monitoring authority. And so sometimes it takes being a little bit more thorough with reviewing the agreement, making sure that you're not being locked in for an extended amount of time, or where you have the device voluntarily as they have it. So I would say that's the biggest factor, is just look at your contract term. Don't get locked in, because there is a provider in SmartStart that does not lock you into long-term contracts.
Wow, that's incredible to hear. I know too that at SmartStart we have bundling, which is unheard of in the industry, and you can bundle products that you actually need. One of the things that's been frustrating to me as a baseline consumer in general is being told that I need a certain product when I don't, or this creation of a problem that is not really a problem. SR22 is, in my opinion, synonymous with IID. Most states require you to have it. That means if you have gotten a DUI, you're going to need to carry SR22. It is usually comes from your insurance company, and not all insurance providers have it. But we at SmartStart actually have a premium partnership with an insurance provider. We are not an insurance company or insurance provider by any means, but our partnership actually allows you to obtain SR22, which is that binder. It's that certificate, because you are considered a high-risk driver now. And you can pair SR22 with your IID and save thousands of dollars. And that's because we have this partnership, which essentially equates to no broker fees, which is unheard of in the industry. And then there's roadside assistance. Can you talk more about roadside?
Yeah, so that's something we were able to add in most states. We're looking at expanding that across other states. But yeah, the SR22, the roadside are all big parts of a full suite of packages that we want to make sure that you have, and you can bundle them and save. But for roadside in particular, you want to make sure that you have 24-hour support. You want to make sure that if there's any issues with your automobile, you're not stranded on the side of the road. There's a lot of situations where the last thing you want to do is be stuck in cold or warm weather, or have a child with you and not be able to get access to a tow truck. So with the roadside package, we are able to get you service 24 hours to make sure that you're towed to the appropriate place and not stuck on the side of the road.
Yes, that's great information. So I think at this point, to give everybody a very brief overview of what happens in that first 30, 60, sometimes 90 days of DUI. So we have the point of inception. You have unfortunately found yourself in the situation where you have a DUI. Likely speaking, you've gone to jail, you've spent the night in jail or a couple nights in jail, depending on any aggravating factors. You're going to test, usually on site with what's called an evidential test at that police station that you're booked in and at that county. And then you're going to elect your representation. Do you want a public defender? Do you want a private attorney? From there, you go home, and you usually go through that experience of anxiety. And that's really where I think you should, if you can, lock in with the right provider. Find a provider like Smart Start that's able to help answer the realistic questions that you have and guide you through your state specific journey, because you don't want to end up with a provider that's making you sign up for a contract or persuading you to sign up for a long contract when you may not even need or have the requirement of that IID. With us, you have that program advisor that's there to kind of offer you that concierge, that sort of white glove service to help you and give you that free advice on your specific state situation and help guide you through that process. You'll set up your appointment for installation. You will show up at your installation, and at installation is when the technician is really going to be there to help you, albeit a Tesla or a motorcycle or a Honda Civic, push to start, etc. Our technicians are there and experts to get your device installed. You will then learn and feel very comfortable with that device. You will not leave our tech station until you know exactly how to operate and function with that ignition interlock device. And then you will go through calibration. Calibration essentially is every 30, 60, or 90 days, depending on your state. And what that means is you are bringing your physical vehicle in to have your device calibrated. This is extremely important for multiple reasons. You want that information to go to your monitoring authority, especially if you've gone violation free. And then ultimately you continue through your requirement and then you have removal. So Izzy, can you talk to me a little bit more about removal, that kind of process and the attitude that we have today at Smart Start?
Yeah, I think for anyone that completes a program, they want to feel it is a big accomplishment for you able to get through the time period that you do have the device, which can seem a little bit of intrusive and be a process that can be difficult for some. You want to get there and you want to feel like you could accomplish something. So our technicians, they do celebrate it as the accomplishment of a program, which is something that we all want to feel, is that we were in this program. We worked hand in hand with the monitoring authority, with our ID provider. There is communication between the three parties to make sure everything was completed successfully. And then you go to removal. You want to feel like that was a success and that was a program you were able to accomplish. So our technicians do a really good job of putting you through that success and making you feel like you're successful. And I think that's a big difference for us here at Smart Start.
Yeah, that's huge. And I wanted to mention too, you reminded me, all states are different. We have administrative states, judicial states, compliance, removal states, at-will states. It can get overwhelming and confusing, but let us help you and guide you through that. Sometimes you need a letter from your DMV in order to get removed, and you need to show that you're violation free. If you have a violation, sometimes you get an extension of that requirement. And so that's what our program advisors are here for. They're here to help you navigate your specific situation in your state.
Absolutely. Yeah. Support teams there for you 24/7. We're able to help you with your state specific requirements. So yeah, I think that the fact that we're different than most companies when it comes to support's very critical.
Yes, I agree. Okay, now we're at my favorite part in our podcast where we have a live question that comes in from Reddit. We love our Reddit community. In fact, our users are quite active. Our sort of micro community and subreddits and Reddits on Smart Start and the DUI community, what we have found is that it's quite an accountable community. And it's great because there are people who have gone through this process before, they've had an IID, and they're sort of coming in and commenting on these threads to help those understand who have questions, who are going through this sort of point of inception in DUI. So today we have a question from Reddit. Take it away, Izzy.
Sure. So great question. I hear this one quite frequently when people ask me what industry I'm in. So is it true that the IID device has a camera? Yes, it's true. The device does have a camera. So you're being responsible. We want to make sure you are being responsible and that you stay accountable. It is a state requirement. So you will have to look into a camera before you blow into a IID device. So yes, Reddit, it is true. There is a camera on the devices.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining our episode today. Please visit www.smartstartinc.com. If you are in need of an IID or have any questions, you can also give us a call, but you can get your first 2 payments free with coupon code STIGMA free. That's coupon code, again, STIGMA free.
Always feel free to call us at 844-766-0156. You can get some free advice from our program advisors that are experienced in your state on your personal DUI journey. So give us a call and we're happy to help.
Thank you for joining us today on today's episode. I'm Morgan Ryan.
And I'm Izzy Varela.
Until next time, stay safe, drive smart.